In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Jyn Erso for the Black Series 6-inch line. And this is the re-release version of her with the photoreal face. Not the most exciting action figure I imagine for most people to take a look at. But I was doing my yearly shopping at Ollie's, and I was looking for something in particular, which I'll be showing off here in a little bit in a separate video. And when I was looking at some of the other action figures on the shelf, of course they had a whole bunch of Jyn Ersos on hand. And I thought, for $8 for a Black Series Jyn Erso, you really can't complain about that. And she is a good looking character and action figure. So I thought, I'll go ahead and add another Jyn Erso to my collection. She can fit in with the rest of my Rebels I have. For $8, really can't complain about that. So I did used to own a Black Series Jyn Erso. This was the Kmart exclusive version. That was released, I think, in end of 2016 and 2017. I actually got that on clearance at my local Kmart when it was going out of business at the time. I think I probably only paid like $7 or $8 for it. It's basically the same exact thing as this action figure, except she came with the mountain diorama stand, which was a very nice accessory, and she also came with a cap that I believe had goggles on it. Overall, it was an alright action figure, but at that time I was like, I really don't want any sequel trilogy / Disney Star Wars characters in my collection. And this was around 2017 and 18. So I went ahead and sold her. But some of the Disney Star Wars content has kind of grown on me over the years, especially some of the characters. Not that I necessarily associate them with the shows and movies that they're from, but I figure Jyn Erso, she can fit in with a lot of the Rebels I have in my collection now. And even if I don't treat her as like Jyn Erso, I can treat her as like a generic Rebel and use her as like a background character. I'm glad to get Jyn Erso back in the collection again. Maybe I'll track down that Kmart exclusive version again at some point. Especially for that diorama piece that comes with her. Before we take a closer look at the action figure, let's look at her package here. Nice image of Felicity Jones on the side here. Looks really good. Can't say I'm the biggest Rogue One fan. It did have a few good moments in it, but overall I was not very happy with the film. I think Felicity Jones did very good as Jyn Erso. And as I said, this is the re-release version of her. The original had the painted face, and it was in the red and black packaging. And those lingered for a long time at retailers, well past the time Rogue One was in theaters. I distinctively recall in Walmart, I think around 2018, it was making its rounds that Walmart had them clearance out for 3 cents, along with the cold weather gear Cassian Andor. I wouldn't be surprised if you go to some retailers, even to this day, outside of Ollie's and the other discount retailers, and can find Jyn Erso on the shelves still, 8 years later almost. So a little description about her. Putting behind a checker past by lending her skills to a greater cause, Jyn Erso is impetuous, defiant, and eager to bring the battle to the Empire. Used to operating alone, she finds her higher purpose by taking on a desperate mission for the Rebel Alliance. And she's figure number 1 for Rogue One in this particular line of the Black Series. I think she was the first Rogue One action figure to be made in general. I think she was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive back in 2016. But yeah, just look at that price point. Their price, $12.99. I don't know at what point $12.99 became the standard for this action figure, but it's alright. And you can get a lot of nice poses out of her. So Jyn Erso is definitely a character that benefits from the photoreal face. It looks really good. Headscarf looks pretty good on her. Interesting how it's cut. As you can see, it has these slits here at the back of her hood. It has a little bit of scap here, but then it's attached towards the bottom of it. And you can't take this off. You just lift it over her head. It's not too difficult to take off. Gives you a better look at the head sculpt and the hair sculpt, which looks really good. I wouldn't say it looks 100% like Felicity Jones, but it's a pretty good interpretation of her. As for the rest of her outfit, not a whole lot to say about it. Definitely reminds you of Rebel Commando or something like that. She has the jacket here with the pouches, various accessories, something here. Looks like she has the zipper here. She has her tunic. Her sleeves have these yellow stripes on it. Kind of reminds me of like Han Solo's blood stripes on his pants. Detail on the back of her jacket. Holster with the latch here. She does have the strap around her leg. And for her pants, just all black. And brown boots here. Articulation is about the same as all the other Black Series action figures. Very nice neck articulation. It does have the hinge there. You can pretty much look all the way down and all the way up. And of course the pretty standard for everything else, hinge shoulders, elbows. The elbows don't really go quite to 90 degrees though. It's close, but not quite there. Hinge wrists. This one goes up and down and this one goes in and out. Joint at the torso there, midsection. Hinged hips, sole thigh, double hinge at the knees, and does have the pins and the rocker ankles. As for accessories, I suppose you could count her scarf here. She does have blaster pistol. And there's not really a whole lot to say about it. I think this is unique to her. I haven't really seen this with any other action figures. There's a little bit of silver and a little bit of black detailing in it. And you can fit it securely inside of her holster. This latch on her holster doesn't want to pin into place too well for me. And you can get her in drawing pose if you wanted to. Looks pretty good. So I don't have the rest of the crew from Rogue One in my collection. I do have a couple other characters that are associated with her. Here she is with Mon Mothma. This is the Andor version, but this is pretty much how she looked in Rogue One as well. And of course the Scarif Trooper. But that's pretty much all I can tell you about Jyn Erso. What I recommend her for your collection? Well, chances are anyone who's really wanted her in her collection up to this point probably already has her. Overall, I think she's a pretty good action figure. I'm glad to get another Jyn Erso in my collection again, as I said. I used to own the Black Series 33 inch version as well, so perhaps I'll track that one down again with a TVC one. But she would definitely benefit from the photoreal face, or maybe just an entirely new action figure from the ground up. This action figure would be very nice for customs as well. If you were interested in making like a Jyn Erso, which is Kyle Katarn's co-pilot, I think the body from Jyn Erso here would be perfect. All you really need is a new head. Or you can make your own custom female rebel. But anyways, that pretty much concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews in the future. There will always be more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate all your support. And check out some links in the description if you haven't done so already. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.